Welcome back to another edition of Viper Bites as we continue our coverage through the NFL offseason, through the trades, through the signings. We've got it all. So make sure, if you're watching us right now, take a second, hit that like button on the bottom of the screen right now. And if you're listening to us on Anchor, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, make sure to rate and review us as we get into the meat and potatoes of this NFL offseason, which seems to be drunk by any kind of definition that you're looking for. And we have another signing here. And this time, the Kansas City Chiefs, hey, they're watching everything go down. They know they want to reload on firepower on the offensive side of the ball. They went out and signed Juju Smith-Schuster to a one-year, $10.7 million contract. Hey, the AFC West is a premier location for talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Hey, look at the pass catchers right now currently residing in the AFC West. For the Broncos, you've got Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and yes, do not disrespect Tim Patrick. With the Los Angeles Chargers, there's still Keenan Allen there. You got Mike Williams re-upping. In Las Vegas, you've got Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, and yes, Devontae Adams is now a Raider right now. And the Kansas City Chiefs, they already had guys like Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, and now they add Juju Smith-Schuster. This is absolutely crazy what's going on in the AFC West. Now, we know that there was a connection between Juju Smith-Schuster and the Kansas City Chiefs last year. It was down to the Steelers and the Chiefs vying for Smith-Schuster's services. Now, it all came down to Ben Roethlisberger and Juju kind of going, you know what, one last dance with Ben Roethlisberger. I respect you. You know what, you've made me who I am today. I'm going to run it back with the Steelers one more time. Well, Ben's no longer there. He is retired. That opened the door for Juju to join the Chiefs. Now, maybe more than the uniting of Patrick Mahomes and Juju Smith-Schuster is the collaboration I'm sure we are about to get between Juju Smith-Schuster and Jackson Mahomes, busting out that TikTok collaboration, little dun, 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 right there for the whole world to see. This really feels like that meme that I've seen where Mauve, the bartender from Simpsons, is grabbing, Barney and kind of ushering him out the door. Think of that as Patrick Mahomes kind of ushering both Jackson Mahomes out the door, and then all of a sudden standing right behind him, Barney is right back in the bar in the form of Juju Smith-Schuster. I mean, I really hope Patrick Mahomes can handle the distractions, the TikTok, and all this other fun stuff that I know in the media we talked about the distraction that Jackson was. Well, Juju kind of brings that same distraction. If they somehow get together in the same room, look out, that could be, well, it could be something all right. Now, as far as football goes, because that's the most important part here, we want to talk football. The Chiefs' number 2 receiver role has been a bit of a joke in recent years. You've had the Mecole Hardmans. You've had the Sammy Watkins. By the way, never Sammy. That's the answer to any question out there. Demarcus Robinson was there. Josh Gordon, he got a sniff as well. They were all getting chances to step up. None were able to do so. We've seen some Brian Pringle kind of come there last year. But hey, guess what? He is no longer a Kansas City Chief. He is signed elsewhere. He's gone to the Chicago Bears, who have their own wide receiver concerns there. Now, when we look at this, when we look at this with Brian Pringle gone and what's already there, Juju Smith-Schuster is joining a receiving core that currently has, obviously, Travis Kelce, but Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Josh Gordon. Hardman last season had a career high in catches with 59 and in yards, 693. Gordon produced, well, he didn't. Let's be honest. There was no production. I love Josh Gordon as much as anyone. I love a good redemption story. It did not come to fruition last season. Look, the numbers for Josh Gordon, nothing really. 5 catches, 32 yards, 1 touchdown in 12 games. And that's after he joined. But you know what? He got put back on the practice squad, and now he has rejoined the Chiefs. So maybe they got a little bit of thought here. Another year with Josh Gordon in that lineup. Maybe he does a little bit more. Now, Juju, he has largely been, well, I'll say it, he hasn't been good in recent years. And throughout his career, we'll talk about his career numbers, but he had 2 good seasons there. He's been derailed by injuries here recently. Back in 2019, he missed 12 games. 2021, he missed some more games there. This year, he just played in 5, recording 15 receptions, 129 yards, no touchdowns. Those zapped 2 of his 5 seasons there. I mean, leaving really Juju with only 3 seasons under his belt. Now, over his career, Smith-Schuster has registered 323 receptions on 471 targets with 26 touchdowns while racking up 3,855 yards to date. He has 3 seasons with more than 800 receiving yards, but only 1 season in which he recorded more than 1,000 yards receiving. It seems like we're hung up on that 1,000-yard season, especially us fantasy enthusiasts. We're like, oh, yeah, Juju, he can do 1,000 yards. We've seen it done, but we haven't seen it done lately. And, hey, I'm all about what have you done for me lately, and Juju has not done a whole lot lately, whether it be injury or else. You know what? It's just not working for me. It's not you. Yeah, it is you. It's not me. It's definitely not me. It's never me. Now, looking around the landscape of the National Football League, especially when it comes to free agents, Christian Kirk just got himself an $18 million per year contract. Allen Robinson, $15.5 million contract. Russell Gage, even Russell Gage is getting himself $10 million per season. That should tell us what the rest of the National Football League feels about Juju Smith-Schuster. 25 years old, and he got a 1-year, $10.75 million, kind of a prove-it type deal. And I don't know if there's many teams that were knocking on the door. I know the Raiders were rumors about him going there. Obviously, that kind of fell apart when Devontae Adams showed up. But you never really heard Juju's name kind of attached to any other franchise throughout this offseason. Now, over those last 3 seasons that he was kind of healthy, Juju ranked 63rd out of 66 receivers in receiving yards gained per route run at 1.3. Only Darius Slayton's 1.29, Curtis Samuel 1.29, and Zach Pascal 1.1 are worse. And that's all per my buddy there, Graham Barfield. He kind of gave those nuggets there. Head over to fantasypoints.com. He's got a whole article on Juju Smith-Schuster that you want to make sure you read here. Now, Kelce and Hill, they will continue to get theirs in this Chiefs offense, but there will be opportunities for the Chiefs, other pass catchers, namely Juju Smith-Schuster. Look at last year, 39.7 passing attempts per game last year. That was the second most, trailing only the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who threw the ball 43 times per game. Yeah, Tom Brady, he was pretty good. Now, if Juju gets about 18% of that target share, he'd easily be looking at about 6, 7, 8 targets per game. So you can definitely see that there is fantasy appeal for Juju Smith-Schuster moving into the next season. I'm not sold on it, but hey, the bottom line, if you can get through all the smoke and mirrors, and it appears that the fantasy world quite hasn't navigated itself through that fog, much like the National Football League and the decision makers there have done. Now, things can change. Players can reinvent themselves. They can be reborn. The truth is, Smith-Schuster is no more than a wide receiver 3 at best, not only as a fantasy option here, but you know what? On this Chiefs team, he may be the 3rd option in the passing game, maybe 4th if you look at the running backs for the Chiefs. And that's not a bad thing because the Chiefs have needed that 3rd option for a few years. I mentioned the Byron Pringles, the Mecole Hardmans, the Sammy Watkins of the fat pass. I mean, these are not exactly guys who have a body of work that you could draw and say, you know what? I feel like the Chiefs have a dangerous 3rd option. Maybe Smith-Schuster becomes a dangerous 3rd option this year as he joins the Chiefs. And hey, you know what? I Juju Smith-Schuster, where he's maybe dancing on the sidelines, having a little bit of fun, getting back to who he is. Because I figure when he's loose and everything like that, he is playing his best football out there. But let's try and keep Jackson Mahomes away from him, because I don't think I can handle both of them going off at the same time. But what I can handle is saving money on those subscriptions. Use promo code VIPERS22. Head over to fantasypoints.com. I just mentioned Graham Barfield. You get 10% off that subscription today by using that promo code. So make sure you do that, and make sure you tune in for more videos as we continue on with this off season of everything and anything going on, trades, signings, you name it, we got you covered. So make sure you check in every day because there's new content coming all the time. We'll see you next time.